Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the McGonigal Boxing Podcast. Let's get straight down to it, shall we? So, obviously, it was revenge last night for Dillian Whyte. Fantastic overall performance against, admittedly, ageing and past it Povetkin. But I'm trying to not take anything away from Whyte because he's much improved. What a difference as well that he's training camp. Proper experienced trainer behind him now. Lennox Lewis's old trainer, Harold Knight, was there to assist Xavier Miller this time. Xavier Miller, the head coach last time, very inexperienced, very makeshift. It was kind of chaotic, wasn't it, for Whyte last time, splitting from his long-term trainer and going with Xavier Miller, all very rushed. Xavier Miller hadn't that experience at world level. Knight, of course, old trainer of Lennox Lewis, had. And it was brilliant advice every time Whyte came back into the corner. Don't get rash, don't get impatient. Remember, he's dangerous when you hurt him. Keep that right hand up. You could see, couldn't you, at all times. He had high guard, that hand was up. He'd throw, then back up. Throw, then back up. Brilliant tactics from Knight. Made all the difference. Whyte's defence was much better. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was one or two hairy moments still. I mean, Povetkin landed a right in round 3 when he was hurt. But, Whyte saw it coming this time. A very measured, composed. And he used the jab more, which was great. He's setting the jab and his punches up. And what's interesting is he's got variety now. The right hand last night was the damage. The overhand right. I think Povetkin was so worried about the left hook that he didn't see that right hand. So that tells me that Whyte can hit with both hands now. He's not just dangerous with the left hook. He can catch you with the right and hurt you. So a lot of improvements from Whyte. He looked leaner, shall I say, like 17 stone 8 pounds last night. Better shape. He had some sort of a two pack on him. And I like it when Whyte's under 18 stone. 17 and a half stone for me is great. He's lean, he's ready to go. If he's above 18, that's a concern for me because he's quite ponderous and slow. So everything was spot on last night. It was great to have a crowd. They were really behind Whyte, and I think that really helped it, gave him that extra boost. And it's a dominant display, wasn't it? He hurt Povetkin from round 1. He put it on him more. He kind of bullied him. Like the old Whyte before, I always said this before the first Povetkin fight. He used his size, got in Povetkin's face, bullied him a lot of the time, and good shots, good counter right hands. Whenever Povetkin tried to throw anything, he just got countered by the right hand. I don't think, like I say, expected that. The left hook wasn't really in play because I think they cancelled each other out with them left hooks. But by keeping that high guard up with the right hand, he kind of stopped Povetkin's best shot and just closed the distance on him. So didn't let Povetkin breathe. He was constantly on him. But very measured. Like I say, didn't rush in when he had Povetkin hurt. And got the job done. Good punching power. Impressive. But I don't want to take anything away from Whyte because that was one of his best performances for a long time. No question. But Povetkin is aging. He's just come back from serious COVID. I think there was a decline even since the first fight, and I wouldn't put him in the top 5 heavyweight. So I just don't want Whyte getting carried away because he's on an onward trajectory and he's got to beat the best of the division. And all the best of the division would have done exactly the same to Povetkin last night, one way or another. So he's got to stay grounded, he's got to stay focused, he's got to get back into camp, which I think he will do. He's got to keep training hard. And I really like, obviously Wilder is the target, or Trevor Bryan. I really like the Trevor Bryan fight. I think that's most realistic. I can't see Wilder coming over to fight Whyte, who hasn't got a belt, and he doesn't want any part of Whyte. I think Whyte would be a bad matchup for him. So at this point where, is Wilder even going to return after that beatdown over a year ago from Fury? So I think Trevor Bryan, he's 31, he's still trying to make a name, even though he's the regular WBA champion. Is a great fight for Whyte. Get that, a good, it's almost like a good tune-up fight, isn't it? Which is just crazy to say about a world champion, but it is, because Trevor Bryan is not on the level of any elite, and that also gives Whyte a belt, a world title belt, notoriety, some fame, and suddenly that's enticing people. It will start to entice people like Wilder out, Andy Ruiz out. These are the big fights, because obviously Fury and AJ are going to be tied up for at least a year now, aren't they, with that 2-fight deal that obviously is in place. So that's the move. I wouldn't waste your time on Wilder, unless Wilder suddenly, which he can do to be fair, sparks a massive social media outrage and goes, right, I want Whyte. I can't see that happening though. Go down the Trevor Bryan route. I think Hearn can make that happen. He's got all the right moves with the WBA. Brilliant fight, and you'd get Trevor Bryan over in the UK as well. He's still fairly young, wants to make a name for himself. With enough money, you'd get him over. Really like that fight. As for Povetkin, I know he's looking to retire now, and I think that's a great move. He's nearly 42. He's had so many wars, and this was just one too many. He looks slow and ponderous. I mean, he was still dangerous when he's hurt. He's still got that vicious left hook, but just too slow and too old now. And unfortunately, he's kind of like a generation behind as well, isn't he, with the build? He's just too small. So I want him to retire. He's had a fantastic career, world champion, Olympic champion. He's fought everyone, fought the best. He's beaten virtually everyone except for Klitschko and AJ. It had been a very, very interesting fight of AJ 10 years ago. And he could have well beaten AJ then. Great fighter, nothing to be ashamed of, but it's time to retire before he starts getting seriously hurt, because I don't want him to be a journeyman now, or a gatekeeper for the up-and-comers, young, hungry lions. Just retire and go and coach. A lot of people would sign up for his coaching. Beautiful left hook, good balance, and a real warrior. Even when the ref quite rightly raised it off after another huge overhand right from Whyte last night, he's still trying to get up and fight. So, it just shows you the warrior spirit he's got. But time for Povetkin to retire, time for Whyte to move on now. He's back, he's redeemed himself, one of his best performances in a long, long time. Now let's go get that WBA regular belt against Trevor Bryan.